Hey guys, good morning. Good Friday morning to you. It's about 8:30 here in Central Texas, 74 top down degrees on Friday, November the 17th. I'm on Park Road 4 on what I call my, I guess you'd say my scenic loop that I go. This is a little drive I take every now and then, and a lot of y'all have been on it with me again. But what I want to talk about this morning is RVing for you new guys. I had a comment asking me to do a video about RVing for new people, and again, I'm no expert. And also I want to point out that you new RVers, or you new to be RVers, have a great resource in YouTube. You can find out a whole lot that I had to find out the hard way, because I've been doing this for about 30 years. I'm 72 years old and live full-time in a 16-foot travel trailer right now. A new one, a 2018 Coachman Clipper Cadet 16 CFB, and that's enough said about that. But for new people, you know, again, there are a jillion videos you can watch about whatever you want to find out, I think. But just general information sometimes is overlooked by the people doing the videos. So we'll just do a general deal. And one of the things is that, you know, there's a lot of, not a lot, there's some jargon that you need to be familiar with. You know, one of them is a full hookup. What's a full hookup? Full hookup means you have water, septic, and electric. Okay, that's a full hookup. At most RV parks, you will have a full hookup. State parks, national parks, and other places you may or may not have a hookup. And then after that you get into what's called dry camping. What's dry camping? Well, dry camping means you have no hookups. Okay, you got to be fully self-contained. Either you're going to have some solar or a generator for power or something, or go without, your choice. And what else? Then you hear about boondocking. What's boondocking? Well, boondocking is basically dry camping in the boondocks. Okay, that's all it is. Nothing more to it than that. You just pull, you know, you go out on BLM land. Well, what's BLM? Bureau of Land Management. They have a lot of government land that you can go out and camp on for free, and there are a few improved sites. They charge a fee, but not many. Most of it is free. Public land camping, boondocking, can be free, and it's pretty nice. I've done a lot of it. Well, what about dispersed camping? Well, dispersed camping is boondocking in a national forest, all right? Because in a national forest, they call it dispersed camping because you are dispersed. You follow a forest road somewhere and just pull out within 100 yards or so of the road, whatever their limits are in that national forest. You'll have to check with the ranger to be sure you know what you're doing. But once you know the rules, then you can comply with them and you'll be fine. And it's free camping all over the USA in national forests. And also, if you're 62 or older, I think you can get a senior pass, and if there's a fee charged, you will get 50% off, and for entry fee you will pay $0. So that's good to know for you new people that are up there in a few years like me. And what else? As to the model that or type of RV you want to use, that's completely up to you. And believe me, there's a lot of different types, lengths, costs, everything. And you know, they're all, you know, if you get looking at a motorhome or towing a travel trailer, the fuel economy is not going to be much different, really. Because if you're towing an RV of any size, it's going to cut your gasoline mileage in half. If you're getting 25, you'll probably get 12 or 13 towing an RV. If you're in a motorhome and you get 10 miles to the gallon, you probably get out on the side of the road and scream with happiness. You know, so of course, now there are some RVs that may get 14 or 15 miles a gallon. The smaller, you know, Class Bs. Class Bs may get 19, I don't know. Or 20, but again, as to the type of unit you choose, that's entirely up to you. You know, my recommendation would be to start out small, but most people don't. Most people start out very large and then end up downsizing. Of course, I've been doing this for years, and that's what I did. I started out with a 2 big travel trailer, and ended up now with a 16-footer, and I'm quite pleased because it's all I need. It's just me, no dogs, no children, no nothing, and it's plenty of space. It's easy to keep clean, and it's got everything I need for me. So what else could I tell you as far as you know, hookups and stuff? You know, whether it's a motorhome or a travel trailer, if you go into an RV park, you know, you got to hook up. You know, you got to hook up your septic drain hose, your water hose, and your electric. You got 32 types of services there. There's 30 amp and 50 amp. Most smaller travel trailers or smaller Class C's and stuff, they're 30 amp. Now the big motorhomes, they'll with dual ACs and stuff, they'll be 50 amp. So, you know, if you have a motorhome that's drawing 50 amps or a large fifth wheel that's 50 amps, then you'll need to be aware, check with the RV park to be sure they have 50 amp service. Some of them do, some of them don't. And then also you got travel trailers, fifth wheels. Travel trailers are the ones that you hook up to the bumper, okay? Fifth wheel, there's a little attachment that goes in the back of your pickup, which is actually called a fifth wheel. It doesn't look like a wheel, but it's called that. And it attaches to your truck, and then the neck of the fifth wheel hooks in there, and that's how you tow it. Now, as to which one is easier to tow or better, it's up to you, whatever you want. Some people say that towing a fifth wheel is easier than a travel trailer. I've had both. I don't think it made any difference to me. You can back a fifth wheel into a more awkward position than you can a travel trailer, because you can't hardly jackknife a fifth wheel. You know what I mean? You can actually almost get it at a 90-degree angle to your truck, whereas you can't do that with a travel trailer. So what else could I tell you as far as equipment that you might need? Whenever you buy your drain hose, your water hose and stuff, you know, get a good quality one. And I recommend, you know, 20-foot drain hose is good. That might be a little long for some places, and then some places might be a little short actually, but it's a general length, and then you can add or subtract depending on what you determine you need later on. As to the water hose, just be sure you get one that is suitable for drinking water. There's a lot of them available. They're not expensive. They're probably around 20 bucks for a 20-foot hose. And I always take a, never mind, I won't get into that. As far as treating the black water in your holding tanks, no matter what type of RV you have, that's up to you. You know, whenever I'm parked at a place that has a full hookup, I just leave the valves open. Some people don't. Some people leave them closed, and there's a little discussion about which is better, which is worse. Well, for me, I just leave the tank valves open, and then I add about a quarter of a cup of powder or liquid to every morning flush, and there's no odor at all. And then when you get ready to leave the site, you know, whether you've been boondocking or whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, add a little detergent, not much, maybe a quarter of a cup of laundry detergent to your black water tank and your gray water tanks. Why? Because it'll flush around in there and clean them up a little bit, and then when you drain the tanks, you'll get out a lot of the stuff, and it'll might even clear your control panel, the little sensors in the holding tank, so you get a correct reading on your panel about what the level is in your black, gray, etc. They're usually not very accurate, though, I have to tell you. I don't even have a control panel in my new RV, and I'm glad I don't, because using solar, that is another one of those little drains that you don't need, and so I don't have it. Now, as far as using solar, you ought to read up on it, because that's a good way to go dry camping or boondocking. And you know, if you know about it up front, you might be able to get an RV that already has an existing setup, or go somewhere and have it installed and before you go out on the road. So, you know, what else can I say to you new guys? As far as now, for travel trailers, I know a lot about that. Don't know a whole lot about motorhomes, but for travel trailers, you know, whenever you get ready to hook up, that's not a problem. If you've got a wife or whatever with you, then, you know, she can guide you right up to it. That's not a problem. And there's a jillion ways to do it. You can get a backup camera and all kinds of stuff. But just be sure that you have the right size hitch ball, okay? You need to ask the people at the service department and the RV dealer you're getting it from, or whoever you get it from, be sure you have the right size hitch ball, and be sure that your trailer brakes work. There are actually brakes on these travel trailers and fifth wheels, and if you get one, just be sure the electric brakes work, and there's a little controller that they can install in your vehicle. If you have a towing package in your vehicle, or your vehicle has a towing package, then they're very inexpensive. They'll cost you about $100 installed, and it activates the brakes along with, whenever you step on the brake pedal in the vehicle, it activates the trailer brakes, and that helps you stop much easier. And when will you really need that? If you get in the mountains, you'll wish you had them. Now, if you have a travel trailer that weighs under, say, 1,500 pounds, you know, you may not need trailer brakes, may not, but not many travel trailers weigh under 1,500 pounds, okay? What else can I tell you? That's the brakes. Now, as far as, you know, whenever you get to a site, whether you're in a motorhome or a fifth wheel or a bumper pull travel trailer while you're towing that, when you get to your site, no matter where it is, you know, you're going to have to level your RV if you're going to be there for a few days, or overnight even. It's best to get leveled or pretty close if you can. And the way I do it is I go ahead, I back into the site. If it's a back end site, I go ahead and back into the site, go into the RV, and I have a single bubble level, okay? Single bubble. I try to keep everything simple. When the bubble is in the center, the RV is completely level, or level enough for my demands, all right? So whenever I back in, first thing I do, I get in the RV and see where that bubble is side to side, okay? In other words, is one side higher than the other? If one side is higher than the other, then I've got some little plastic leveling things for my travel trailer that you back the wheel up on, and it raises one side or the other so that you can level your travel trailer or motorhome side to side. Okay, now some motorhomes come with automatic levelers. You just push a button and it levels, but there are a lot of them that don't have that. So once you've got it level side to side, or pretty close, now you know, you don't have to get it perfect, but get it pretty close side to side, then you can use the tongue jack on a travel trailer. You don't have this feature in a motorhome. I'll get to that next. But on a travel trailer, then you can use the tongue jack. You know, first you got to get it off the hitch, pull the vehicle forward, you know, unhook the electric and the brakes, pull the vehicle forward, and then you can raise or lower that tongue to get that bubble in the center, you know, front to back. You got me, front to back. And once you get it close there, you should be good to go. Okay, now if you still need a little bit more to be comfortable, or you think you do, you can use your stabilizer jacks to make some minor adjustments. The stabilizer jacks, the screw down jacks, are not intended to level the RV. They are what they are, stabilizers. They're to make the trailer stable so that when you're walking around on the inside, it feels like a nice little home, okay? That, you know, the RV is not shaking, all right? And some of the newer, smaller travel trailers come with two screw down jacks in the rear only, all right? And then, of course, you've got the tongue jack. That gives you three pegs on the ground. My recommendation is to buy two more of those little screw up jacks. You can get them at Walmart. They're real cheap. They're made out of aluminum, and yeah, and you can add those if you're going to be somewhere for several days, and that really stabilizes the travel trailer, particularly a bumper pull. As far as a fifth wheel, that's a little different, and as far as a motorhome, if you've got a Class C that doesn't have the electric levelers, then you know you may have a block under the rear tires and the front tire. You know what I mean? You may have to put some blocks in different places to get it level, because you don't have screw down jacks on a motorhome. So what else can I tell you? Now that you've got the unit level, you're good to go. And then you got a 12-volt pump that will use the water from your fresh water tank, and you can use that to take a shower, wash dishes, etc. You also have a 6-gallon, most RVs have a 6-gallon hot water tank, and it's propane or electric on most RVs. Mine just happens to be propane only now. Most of the new models have what's called a direct ignition propane hot water heater. That means you can push a little button inside the RV, and a little electrical impulse will light the pilot on the hot water heater. The hot water heater will cut on, and within 10 minutes you should have some hot water. And they'll also electric. So if you have 4 people or 3 or 4 people going to take showers in a short span of time, you can turn the electric on and the gas, and that water will heat up really quickly and recharge quickly, so the family can take their showers pretty quickly. Now there's also units that have outside showers with hot and cold water, and that's kind of a plus. And there's also, most of the new models have an outside flush for the black water tank. You just hook a hose up, open the drain valves, and flush your tanks. Okay, so that's real handy. But again, for new guys, I would recommend that you instead of buying or guessing what you're going to need, get what you know are the essentials. You're going to need a septic drain hose, you're going to need a water hose, and what else? Pretty much it, I guess. Maybe a couple of those jacks, and you're good to go. And take you some blocks. I mean, you can use wood blocks, you can use those plastic blocks that they sell. They got all kinds that do the leveling. You can get there's some stackable ones that you stack up and back up on or drive up on, however you want to do it. Then there's a thing, and some RV parks have what are called pull-through sites. Some state parks and national parks have the same thing. Pull-through sites mean you just pull through. You just pull, it's a drive-through site with the hookups on one side. You just pull in, hook up, and you get ready to leave. You just pull out. You don't have to back in. And a lot of people look for pull-through sites because sometimes back in a travel trailer or a fifth wheel or even a motorhome, if it's a bigger one, can be a little bit of a headache. So, what else I'm just thinking out loud here, and this is all just general information. Again, watch 100 videos and you'll know more than I ever did. I didn't have access to the internet when I first started many years ago, probably before most of y'all were born. And but another little recommendation, I would tell you this: whenever you take a trip, if you plan a trip and it's a 5,000-mile round trip, don't try to do it in 5 days. All right, if you're going to do that, I'd recommend cutting it by a third. Because if all you're going to be doing is driving, then that gets a little bit tiring. All right, and hooking up and unhooking and all that, and you'll get burned out, and then you won't want to do it. So if you just take short hops, say allow yourself driving time, say 4 hours a day, that's not too bad. I try to stick within that range, 4 hours. That gives me about a little over 200 miles, because I average about 50 miles an hour, and that sounds a little slow, but by the time you stop for gas and maybe stop to use the restroom, or you see something pretty and you want to pull out and look at it, you're not going to average many miles an hour, okay? So, a lot of the day goes pretty quick. And the good thing I would recommend too is to arrive at your site, wherever you're going to go. If you can arrive before 2 p.m., then you're ahead of the pack, all right? Particularly in the summers. And if you're going to go camping, in the summers, you got to know that rivers and lakes are going to be packed, all right? And so, I want to have a reserve spot there, or option 2, have you 2 or 3 other sites in mind, so when that one falls through, you can find you a place. And when all else fails, go to Walmart, but don't abuse the privilege. You know, you can camp at Walmart for free. You know, you can call and check with them. Also, there's a website that you can go to and find out which Walmarts allow you to camp there overnight. But don't tell them you're camping overnight. Just tell them you're going to park overnight. You know, that word camping sometimes doesn't come off real good, because camping, people envision tents being put up and all kind of crap. But if you just say you're going to park overnight, then they may go for that. Another, you know, then there's all kind of resources. You know, of course, you've got Google Earth for checking out sites. You know, actually seeing the physical location before you go there and checking out where you might want to camp. Pick a site even. And then there's a website called freecamping.net, which you know, you put in the name of the city and it'll show you all the free camping near that city. But I tell you this, be careful with that, because yeah, it shows a lot of free camping, but sometimes what they leave out is the road. It's a road from hell, and you couldn't get down it in an army tank. Okay, and so you just have to be aware that all that glitters isn't gold. And you can find out, once you find a site on freecamping.net, you can Google Earth it and kind of zoom down enough to kind of see what you're into. That's just been available in the past few years. Google Earth's really getting good. So having said that, guys, this is Rusty 78609 for all you new campers or new RVers. I hope I've covered something of interest. And if you have any questions, leave comments, because the viewers on this channel know a lot about RVing and camping. And if you leave a comment, you'll probably get a favorable response that will help you. So anyway, guys, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye, buy USA made when you can, drink plenty of water, 3 or 4 quarts a day will not hurt you. In fact, it's good for you. It will help you avoid gout, kidney stones, and it'll help you lose weight. How will it help you lose weight? Because you'll be full of water and you won't want to eat so much. Next thing, take deep breaths, breathe into your nose deeply. I mean, way deep, and then hold it for a few seconds and breathe out through your mouth. Why? Because that relieves stress, and relieving stress does what? Lowers your blood pressure, and lowering your blood pressure is really good for you. So having said all of that, for you guys that use the Amazon link in the description, I appreciate it. For you guys that are new and don't know what I'm talking about, I'm an Amazon affiliate, and if you use the Amazon link to buy products, I get a small commission, which helps the channel and costs you nothing. So anyway, use it if you want to, and if you don't, it won't hurt my feelings. So anyway, guys, enjoy your day. This is Rusty coming into Kingsland, Texas, USA. It's been a nice drive, and I hope I've given you some information that might help you. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.